With U.S. troops gone from Kabul and the Taliban in control, President Biden now faces a new set of challenges. Can he get Americans out? And how does he confront the growing terror threat? Joining us now from Texas, the top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Michael McCaul. Congressman, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
On Friday, Secretary of State Blinken, under questioning from reporters, refused to say how many Americans, how many Afghan allies have gotten out of that country since the U.S. pulled all our forces out on Monday. As the top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, do you know the answer to that?
You know, I've been given the answer in the classified space, but it's in the hundreds. We have hundreds of American citizens left behind enemy lines in Afghanistan as I speak. And also, very sadly, the interpreters who worked with our special forces, almost all of them were left behind and were not let in the gates at the airport at HKI to get out. And that was a promise that the president made. I've said all along, this president has blood on his hands. And this last week, we had 13 service men and women come home, flag-draped coffins at Dover Air Base. This problem's going to get worse, not better, and we have left them behind. That's the basic credo of the military.
Sir, I asked a slightly different question, though, than the one you answered. Not how many are still left. Do you know how many of those Americans and how many of those Afghan allies have gotten out of the country since we pulled out on Monday?
Right. So the Americans themselves, probably around 5,000 range, and the Visa card holders.
No, sir. Wait. No, what I'm asking is, since we left the country on Friday, how many Americans have gotten out of Afghanistan since we pulled out? How many Afghan allies have gotten out since the Taliban was in complete control of the country?
I understand. Zero. And in fact, we have 6 airplanes at Mazar Sharif Airport, 6 airplanes with American citizens on them as I speak, also with these interpreters, and the Taliban is holding them hostage for demands right now. The state has cleared these flights, and the Taliban will not let them leave the airport. So I'm sorry, the answer to your question is zero. And that's my concern, is they're going to demand more and more, whether it be cash or legitimacy, as the government of Afghanistan.
Let me pick up on this because I didn't know this. You're saying that there are Americans on airplanes ready to fly out of Afghanistan right now, and they're not being allowed out because Taliban is making demands. What demands are the Taliban making?
Well, they are not clearing the airplanes to depart. They've sat at the airport for the last couple of days, these planes, and they're not allowed to leave. We know the reason why is because the Taliban wants something in exchange. This is really, Chris, turning into a hostage situation where they're not going to allow American citizens to leave until they get full recognition from the United States of America. My concern is that Zal Khalilzad, our special envoy, who's met with the Taliban, they're in talks right now, and I think I worry his recommendation to the administration will be to recognize the Taliban as the official government of the United States, a Taliban organization that is a terrorist organization.
There are also reports that the Taliban is now carrying out mass killings of former Afghan government officials, former Afghan defense forces. Can you shed any light on that?
Yes, you know, executions are taking place. We're getting videos coming in, stories of interpreters being, blocked by the Taliban. Remember, they had a perimeter around the airport itself. The interpreters couldn't get through that perimeter. Most Americans did. Some got blocked by our own U.S. government at the airport. State Department wholly failed in this evacuation, and we had to rely on groups like Operation Task Forces like Pineapple and Dunkirk, who I implore the State Department to work with to help get these Americans and interpreters left behind out. But the retaliation's been severe, Chris. You know, stories of interpreters being taken home to their families and watching, their wives and families being beheaded, executed before they execute the interpreter. This is not a new and improved Taliban. This is the same old Taliban they're reverting back to with the same brutal practices. And, there's reports also. I was on the phone last weekend with top officials at DOD and state trying to get 250 orphan girls, Afghan orphan girls, from the university, from the music, they're musicians, out of the country, had visas, and our own U.S. government would not open the gate to let them in. Now they've returned, and now they're under in Taliban enslavement. And we know that they marry off young women as young as 12, many times 14 years old. It's a very sick culture, and they treat women like property. I worry about the women left behind as well.
Let me pick up on this, because administration officials continue to say that they believe that they can work with the Taliban, both to get Americans and our Afghan allies out and also to join together in fighting groups like ISIS-K. Here is White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki this week.
We have an enormous amount of leverage, including access to the global marketplace, which is not a small piece of leverage to the Taliban, who are now overseeing large swaths of Afghanistan.
Given that they are now in charge of Afghanistan, should we try to find some way to work with the Taliban? Can we find some way to work with the Taliban?
Well, I think in many respects, because this administration ignored the warnings of the intelligence community assessments, overrode the top generals, we find ourselves in this very precarious, dangerous situation where the Taliban is now dictating terms to us, where they are dictating the terms of our exit strategy, dictating whether Americans can leave or not, or the interpreters. And Mr. Putin himself, stared down our president at the summit and said, you cannot build ISR intelligence capabilities in the region. The problem is, Chris, we've gone dark. When Bagram went down, when we turned it over to the Afghan partners now in Taliban hands with all the cash and weaponry, when our embassy went down, we went dark. We have no eyes and ears in country, and we can't see Russia, China, and Iran. This is a major national security threat. I warned the administration for months to get the Americans out, but also establish this ISR capability, which we have none now. Now we're left in this very desperate situation, a very bad foreign policy of having to negotiate with the Taliban, which I was always skeptical of having to do. Yeah, we do have frozen assets. That's the only leverage we have left, because we have no military on the ground and we have no intelligence capability on the ground.
Let me pick up on that, because the president continues to talk about our, quote, over-the-horizon ability to combat terrorists, which basically means we can do it from outside of Afghanistan. And he points to the 2 hits in the last week or so on ISIS-K terrorists. How do you assess the terror threat from Afghanistan now that the Taliban is completely in control? And how do you assess our ability to deal with that terror threat from over the horizon?
It's a great question. This over-the-horizon capability is greatly exaggerated because we don't have anything near Afghanistan. It's a landlocked country surrounded by our enemies, Russia, China, Iran, who've now been emboldened by this foreign policy, blunder. So, how do we go forward? I think we have to establish that ISR, somewhere. Over-the-horizon capability means flying from the Gulf, probably countries like Qatar, which would be, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, having to fly, around Iran, over Pakistan, get refueling. This is not, when I talk to anybody in the military, they tell me this is not adequate for us to have ISR capability. Well, we need to see eyes and ears on the ground to see the threat so that we can respond to the threat and eliminate it. We don't have that capability anymore. And Chris, we're going back to pre-9/11 right now, but it's worse. It's worse because now they're fully armed with our weapons, our helicopters, and pallets of our cash.
Congressman McCaul, thank you. Thanks for your time. Pretty chilling conversation. Always good to talk with you, sir.
No, you too, Chris. Thanks for having me.